Can you dig it? Actually, I sound more like Bane. Oh, you think the darkness is your ally, Batman? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it. Thanks for tuning in to Bourbon Drop. I'm your host, Byron. This is a special Halloween edition of Bourbon Drop. Today, we are going to go over how to make a smoky old fashioned, and I want to figure out which one of these whiskeys will make the best smoky old fashioned. I've got Russell Single Barrel here, Old Line, I've got Whistle Pig 10, and I've got one of my favorite distillers out there, Sagamore. Their double oak is just amazing, but I felt like the cast strength would do an amazing job, so that's why I have it in here. And if you watch Snowfall, I feel like I look more like Jerome with these glasses and the wig going, you think you built this by yourself, nephew? Notice that the Bourbon Drop Studios are set up a little different these days. It's because the wife and I are throwing a Halloween party, so hence the ambiance. You see all of the decorations or decor, and you've got the black trees and the skulls and the bats behind me and stuff like that. But anyway, I want to give a shout out to my son Jay. He got me this for Christmas. It didn't make it in time. It came a little later, but I love you. Thank you so much for that. That is a whiskey cocktail smoke infuser. And my wife, you know, shout out to Mrs. Bourbon Drop. I got to give her a shout out. She took me to a restaurant for my birthday, and it was a speakeasy. It was below a hotel somewhere in DC in Georgetown. I can't think of the name of it. They had a drink called Pigs and Pete. I think it may have been Whistle Pig. I'm not the biggest Whistle Pig fan, but I figured I'd throw it in there today just in case, you know, this does turn out to be the better one, and that was what they were using. But it came out, it had this nice dome over top of it. It had smoke in it, then they took it off and all the smoke kind of swirled around. And the drink itself, I'm not a big cocktail guy, but man, it was good. And that was the first time that I also had Stag 18, because they had some Stag 18 just when they dropped the Junior, and I gave it a try. But anyway, so today I've got 3 different whiskeys set up. I did do the Sagamore off camera. That's what made the thumbnail. Just doing kind of some test stuff, but I think that I'm just going to go ahead and do the Whistle Pig, the Old Line, and Russell's. This is a bottle that I've been wanting to get on the channel. I didn't want to give it a less than favorable review because I think it's good. However, it just hits different. This Russell's, to give a quick review, comes in on a palette with just, I would say just a ton of caramel. It's not super sweet though. It's more savory than anything. And normally I get sweetness on the front of the tongue, savory on the mid to the back, and then like a little bit of char and smokiness. This is kind of the reverse. I don't get a lot of char out of it. It is very, like, I would say savory on the front of the tongue, then the sweetness kind of creeps in. So maybe more butterscotch, you know, it's just got more of a salty note on the front of the tongue, then the sweetness kicks in on the mid, and then the finish, I won't say that the finish is non-existent. The finish is just, it's lacking. It leaves me wanting just a little bit more. So anyway, I'll go ahead and get these things made up. We'll make one on camera. I won't bore you with the rest, and then we'll start to judge. So according to YouTube, you start off with a ton of ice. You pour that in a mixing glass. I don't have a mixing glass, but I do have this strainer right here, so that will help me out tremendously. Then you take a couple of bitters. 1, 2, 3, 4. I told you I don't know how to make these things. There's simple syrup, 2 ounces of simple syrup. Well, not 2 ounces. You're supposed to do, they say, a 1/4 ounce of simple syrup. So I'll put that in there. A little bit of brown sugar, because I saw a guy make one with brown sugar, and I actually thought it looked pretty cool. So, you know, with a little bit of crushed brown sugar in there. Now, he had the thing to crush it, this right here. I might crush the next one, do it before I put the ice in, just to see what it does. We're going to start off with a little bit of Russell's, 2 ounces. I'm probably doing this backwards. That's 1 ounce, that's 2 ounces. Now, most of the guys put 2 to 4 splashes of bitters. That's why you saw me put in 4 splashes. I'm not sure. Like I said, I've never made this type of cocktail before. You spin it around. They say don't overspin it. Just kind of you know, a couple times, maybe 10, 20 seconds. Some guys even did 3, I think. 6 spins. So, you know, I guess it depends on what you like. Then you take more ice. Get yourself a ton of ice. Pour it over. Get yourself an orange peel. And this part is very, very important. Express. That's called expressing it. Then wipe it around the rim of the glass. Put it in, just like that. Get yourself one of these smokers, put it on top. A couple pinches of oak. Get your lighter. And hopefully it stays lit for you. Put it in just like that. And this is not how I wanted this basement to smell. Woo! Let it stay on top for about 10-15 seconds. My wife is going to swear I was smoking cigars down here. That is some thick smoke all in the air, and you see the beauty that comes out of the glass. I hope that picked up on camera. That's actually pretty good, man. That oakiness and that smoke, it does infuse the whiskey. It gives it like this, the sweetness and the simple syrup and the brown sugar gives it a nice sweetness. You get the citrus notes from the bitters and from that orange peel, and then you get that nice little touch of smoke, and then of course, you know, the rustles. So let's get another sip. That's actually pretty good. I hope that doesn't get watered down. I'm going to try and make the other two really quick and then put them side by side. Give me a second. Now that I got them all three on the bar, that looks beautiful. I can't lie. That looks beautiful. See if I can recreate what they did. No luck. No luck at all. That does look beautiful. I am going to see which one of these tastes the best. Now, like I told you guys, I am not a big cocktail fan. However, that Pigs and Pete drink, whatever they did to it, it was amazing. I am trying to recreate this at home. I am not a bartender. I just play one on YouTube. So let's see what the Whistle Pig is working with. That's close. Wow. That's really close. The smokiness from that oak wood that I put in the top of the smoker has really infused itself into this drink. The sweetness from the simple syrup and the brown sugar comes forward. That citrus note with the bitters and that rind, that orange rind that's in there, that is really close. Really, really close. It's got like this, almost this meatiness to it, like that peaty smoke, like a smoked meatiness to it, but sweet. Very sweet. Let's go back in for another sip. That's close. Very close. I am enjoying that smoky note in that one. All right, time to see what the Old Line does, because Old Line Cask Strength is one of my favorites by itself, and it already has a touch of a smokiness to it. Wow. Wow. The Old Line already has a touch of smokiness in it. It's almost like it's got a little, this is an American single malt, and it's produced in Ohio. It's bottled by a company in Baltimore. It has a nice smokiness already in it. And then that extra little bit of smoke from the glass, those oak chips. Oh my gosh, man. I am really falling in love with this thing right here. It takes a second to hit though. The Whistle Pig came through with just that sweet smokiness as soon as I put it, you know, up to my lips. But this one right here, when I put it on the palate, initially I was kind of disappointed, and then it just hit me. Yeah, that's really good. all of that, those pineapples and apricot notes, they come forward, and then that smokiness just enhances it. Old Line is special. Let's go back to the Russells and see what happens. The Russells is still good. The Russells has been a little watered down because the ice melted while I was making these two. It's still got some good flavor to it. I'm picking up more orange than anything now. There's like almost like a sweet orange syrup now. You can't really, I guess because it has so much ice in it, I can't really taste the Russells anymore. So I am probably going to rank the Russells third. I know that it is watered down some, so maybe that kind of hurt it a little bit. In the beginning, I did like it. I am going to have to rank the Whistle Pig second. That was very close to what I had. That drink, Pigs of Pete, I got to find out what that speakeasy, because it's in the, you have to take an elevator down to the bottom floor. It is below the hotel. And you walk in and it is so dark, and they've got live music playing. They've got a bar set up. The first thing I did was ding out of bar. Then I kept walking to my seat, and that was what I asked the waiter for when he came over. I said, look, a double of stag meat. So I had to get my hands on it, because at that point, the only thing I had was 16 and 17. So that might even have been 19, maybe even 22A. I can't remember. It was last year. So that could have been, I didn't ask the guy exactly what it was. So it could have been, I was thinking 18, but no, it could have been one of the other ones. I know it didn't have a junior on it. So, and at the time, all of the talk was about the Stags without a junior. So that, it could have been any one of those, but you know, it was good. So anyway, back to what is going to be the clear winner, the Old Line. This Old Line is amazing with the pineapple, the apricot, those fruit notes just come forward. That smokiness that's already in there just became enhanced by the smoke from the whiskey smoker. Once again, Jay, I love you. Thank you. I really appreciate it, son. And with that being said, let the whiskey flow. Never run out unless you're headed to a drop. Till next time.